Hello everyone, this is Tier 5. Thanks for joining me for a little World of Warships here. Let's see, Tier 8 match, no carriers, lots of battleships, that's what I like to see. And a couple enemy gunship destroyers, so this should be a challenging match, but I certainly think I have a good chance here. I assume if you're watching this you already know something about World of Warships. So I'm not going to go into the basic details, but I am going to try to provide some good information about how to maybe improve your game, and hopefully you guys can give me suggestions about how to improve mine. Alright, just about ready to get in this. Lots of Tier 8 battleships over there, and this is not my favorite map, even though it is a good map for destroyers, just because of all the islands you can pop out right behind them. Problem is I'm in a hunter destroyer, so those gunship destroyers can pop out right around the island in front of me, and then I'm having some trouble getting away from them. Let's see, we got a Benson over there, he'd be good support for us, and then Alright, well I'm going to take it northeast for now and see what happens. Try to avoid this island as well. That's always good. Alright, well, I'm starting these videos. Not really sure where I'm going with it yet. Just staying casual right now. And I am a casual World of Warships player. I'm not a pro. I'm just a guy playing the game. I do play some ranked, but you know, I don't go hard out for it. Let's see if I can get closer here. Now the advantage of being this ship is, I believe, especially with my camo, beautiful camo, especially with my camo, I believe I have the lowest detected range here, 6.8 kilometers. Lots of big battleships to sink. There's the first battleship, first customer. That's good. That's one of their 3 destroyers is over there. It'd be nice if I could see which one, but he's out of my view range, unfortunately. See if I can get a little bit closer. Now, one thing you don't want to do with this type of destroyer, especially early in the match, is get too close too fast, because this can happen where you get... Yeah, someone was just firing blind torps there. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and try to torp this guy, but I'm going to try to get as close as I can first. Oh, that's close enough. Alright. So now I'm not going to fire my guns because I don't want that Blizka to keep view of me. Otherwise these guys will tear me up. Yeah, they're already firing on me like crazy. Luckily, most of those hits didn't get me. Most of those shots. Let's see what this Myoko does with these torps. He's not turning, which I would have expected he would by now. So that's looking pretty good, actually. Come on. Oh, he's turning away. He's smart. That last one might get him, though. Yes! Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Come on, sink, sink, sink. Yeah! Alright, that's an awesome start. Much better than I expected, honestly. Cruisers usually can avoid torps pretty well. He's already saying something. Yeah. Now, you noticed with the way I launched my torps. Now, the Fubuki has 3 torp launchers of 3. So that's a pretty good spread. And what I did was I just put them right next to each other in the tight formation. Yes, if he would have maneuvered very much, they would have been well out of range of hitting him. However, because they were so close together, he had real trouble avoiding them. So I tend to leave them close together anymore. I used to kind of do a little of each, you know, have one, depending on the ship, obviously, one or two launchers on the wide pattern, and then one on the narrow pattern. But what I usually found out was, unless it was a battleship or a group of battleships, the wide pattern almost never was able to hit, just because the gaps between the torpedoes was too big. And now this Benson and I are going for it, but it's going to be really difficult for me to torp this Amagi with an allied ship right next to me. I don't want to launch torps right now. There's Norlands. Try to keep it behind the Benson a little bit. Okay, that Amagi is breaking off, so I'm going to actually turn my attention to this Warspite, which is coming in. The trick there is, and I do this all the time in battleships, if you're in a battleship and you see enemy destroyers and you head directly away from them, it is almost impossible for them to A, catch you, or B, torp you. Battleships, no, they're not as fast as a destroyer, but some of them can reach, you know, upwards of 30 knots or so. And so, you know, look what I'm going right now. I'm going 32 knots right at this second. That's not my full speed. But the point being, you know, the difference in speed percentage-wise is not all that great. And especially the torps, you know, their torps don't travel at the speed of light or anything. They take a long time to get there. So if I were to torp this Warspite even at this range, and it's a slow battleship, I would just barely be at the edge of my torp range when I was hitting them. Alright, now this Amagi is going to get a nice salvo right there, because he... Oh no, he's heading away, so I just wasted all those. Got a little carried away. Alright, well that's okay. It looks like my team could use me moving over here to the west anyway. That Warspite's getting close. It's very... See, the thing is here, it's a mixed blessing with these islands, because yes, I can pop out behind an island and torp a battleship, but at the same time, you know, unless they're coming into really perfect position, it's extremely difficult for me to lead them properly. So what I'm going to do is try to get over here to the New Mexico, though. It looks like he's mostly being taken out at range. Oh, and actually, they don't have any more destroyers, so what am I hanging back here for? I'm going for it. 22 seconds before I can start putting more torpedoes in the water. And they've got almost only battleships left, which is a really good opportunity for me. Go ahead and hit that just to get in the fight faster. So these three battleships are heading away from me, which means I have to really kick it in gear in order to catch up with them. Now at some point they're gonna have to turn. Ooh, and there's that Amagi coming back. He's still out of range though. And something else, that Colorado. I'm not going to waste shots in the Colorado. He's too low. My allies are obviously shooting at him. So if I were to fire at him at this point, just likely that I'm going to lose on my torps, and not much more than that. But I'm getting a little too close to this Warspite. I'm going to go ahead and try to torp him. Can't get any closer or he'll detect me. Now in this case what I did was I put my spread, I clicked it in front of him first, and you saw I tried to basically space them such that each fan just overlaps the other ones a little bit. Now the reason I fired the one in front of him first is because when they first see torpedoes, they tend to turn, you know, to try to avoid them, and this is looking very good. Come on. Yeah. Is that going to hit him? No. Alright. Well, that's a good run right there already. But the idea is if you put the fan or the first salvo in front of him, then when somebody turns, they tend to turn into the rest of your torpedoes because the others are coming up short. And that is game. Alright, well that wasn't a bad game at all. Let's see, 2 devastating strikes. No shots. I didn't actually use my guns at all, which is pretty unusual actually. But I'm mostly only firing shots against destroyers in a destroyer, especially this destroyer. Yeah, didn't do way up there with the team, but our team just slaughtered theirs very quickly. So those couple hits though that I did get really managed to sink a couple ships really fast. So very good game. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you'll join me again.